What on earth is the case system in Russian? Good question. If you've started learning Russian recently, like I have, you've probably heard about cases. And what are these cases? And you've been told and heard and been scared by textbooks and videos on YouTube talking about how the Russian case system is very difficult. There's all these cases to master, and if you don't master the cases, nobody will understand you. And how can you master these cases? It's just so difficult for English speakers or non-Russian speakers to master this case system. Well, I'm not going to lie. If your native language, like English, does not have grammatical cases, then yeah, you're going to have to learn it if you want to speak halfway decently and, speak fluently and correctly. So, having said that, you may be struggling to understand what this even means. What do cases even mean? What is a case? What are grammatical cases? So, let's talk about it. And instead of trying to give you examples using Russian, let's use a hypothetical language. In this hypothetical language, all the words are the same as English words, except this language uses a system of cases similar to that of Russian. Let me explain. First, what does case mean? Well, it's simply, to put it simply, nouns, because we're going to focus on nouns today, to keep it simple. In a language which has cases, the endings of nouns will change to indicate what role that noun is playing in the sentence. Now, if you remember from school, if you've ever had to diagram sentences or parse sentences in your English class, sentences typically have a subject, a verb, and an object, and maybe an indirect object of some kind. You might already be saying, whoa, 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 what's with all these fancy technical terminology? I'll try to explain as best I can. Let's take a simple example in English. Dog bites man. So we have the subject, the dog. The subject means the person or the thing which is doing something. In this case, what is it doing? It's biting. The dog is biting. So dog is the subject of the verb bite. Dog bites. And what does it bite? It bites a man. Dog bites man. And man, we call that the object of the verb because it is receiving the action of the verb. So dog bites man. Now in English, we know that the dog is the subject because it comes before the verb. This is how English works. First comes the subject, then comes the verb, then comes the object. So dog bites man. The dog is doing the biting, the man is getting bitten. Dog bites man. Now, we can switch dog and man around, and the new sentence will now be man bites dog. And this means something completely different in English. Man bites dog is completely different from dog bites man. If we say man bites dog, of course, the man is now doing the biting, and the dog is getting bitten. So, man bites dog, man is the subject, dog is the object. Or, dog bites man, dog is the subject, and man is the object. The direct object, more specifically. Okay. And in English, we know what the subject and object are by their position in the sentence. The subject comes first, before the verb, and then that is followed by the direct object. Okay, we're keeping it simple for now. So, man bites dog. Dog bites man. Notice that in these two sentences, man bites dog, dog bites man, the words man and dog, the form of the words doesn't change. Man is still spelled M-A-N, whether it's the subject or the object, and dog is still spelled D-O-G, whether it's the subject or the object. Here's where cases come in. Imagine this hypothetical language where all the words are English, but we mark each noun to show if it's a subject of a verb or an object of a verb. So let's say that in our hypothetical language, all subjects don't change at all. They have the basic form. Man, dog, book, car, stick. They all have the basic form. We'll call that the dictionary form. The technical name for this in a case system is nominative case. Nominative case. Nominative case indicates the subject of the verb. And in dictionaries, you would look up a word in the nominative case. If you look up the word dog, that's the nominative case. So, in our hypothetical language, any word in the nominative case, the subject of the sentence, has no change. It's in the dictionary form. But any word which is the object, the direct object of a sentence, has an "u" added to the end of it. So in this hypothetical language, dog bites Manu means that dog is the subject and Manu is the direct object. Dog bites Manu. Okay, that seems easy enough. Dog bites Sticku. Okay, dog bites Womanu. If your name is John, if the dog is biting somebody called John, we would say dog bites Johnu. See, we even do this with names. Dog bites Tableu. Crazy dog, it's biting a table. This is our hypothetical language. Dog bites Katu. Okay, I think you see where I'm going with this. Now let's reverse it. Remember we had the sentence in English, man bites dog. Well, in our hypothetical language, that would be man bites dogu. Man sees buku. Man sees dogu. Man hits dogu. Okay. Man, what can we say? Man sees womanu. So in these examples, man is the subject, and all the objects, the direct objects, end with a u. Man sees tableu. Okay, man sees lampu. Man reads buku. Okay, now this is a hypothetical language, but this also happens in real languages, including Russian. This happens in German. This happens in Russian and most of the other Slavic languages. This happens in plenty of languages where the language marks the role being played by each word, specifically nouns and adjectives, in a sentence. For now, let's just stick with nouns and very simple sentences. So imagine if you can say man bites dogu and you know that dog is the object. Well, this gives you a bit of freedom. You can now play with the word order of the sentence. You could say dogu bites man. Dogu bites man. And what does that mean? That means exactly the same as man bites dogu. The word order is no longer so important because each noun is marked to show what role it plays. Man bites dogu is in subject, verb, object order, but dogu man bites is in object, subject, verb, but it means the same thing. And we know it means the same thing because of the marking of the nouns, the ending of each noun. So, woman bites Manu, woman sees dogu, woman loves Manu, man loves womanu. Okay, so it's not so hard to get your head around. Now, this is the first level, basic level, but we're already using 2 of the 6 cases in our hypothetical language. And it just so happens that Russian also has 6 cases, just like our hypothetical language. We're not going to try and give examples of all of them today, but you see it's not that difficult. So dog bites Manu, man sees dogu, woman dogu pets, which means woman pets dog. Okay. Dog chases katu. Cat scratches dogu. You get the idea. Dogu cat scratches. Same thing. Cat scratches dog. Scratches dogu cat. Means the same thing. Cat scratches dog. The word order is much less important. Typically in languages which have this kind of case system, word order is used, and this happens in Russian. You can be flexible with word order. You can bring words, for example, to the front, to the beginning of the sentence to emphasize them. So if you say something, for example, in the neutral word order, subject, verb, object, dog scratches katu, and I might reply, oh, katu dog scratches? And that might imply something like, oh, is it the cat that the dog scratched? Emphasizing the cat. Or was it the mouse? In my mind, maybe it was the mouse. No, dog doesn't scratch mousu. Dog scratches katu. Okay. No, dog doesn't scratch mousu. Katu dog scratches, for example. So we've used 2 of the 6 cases now in our hypothetical language. And remember, the case that marks the subject of the verb is called nominative case. This is a technical terminology, and you'll come across it if you're studying Russian. So you might as well get used to it. Nominative case. The case which indicates the direct object, like dog scratches katu, so the katu is a direct object here. In grammar, and you'll see this in your Russian books, that's called the accusative case. Okay, so we don't have to learn all these at once, but you can do it slowly and build it up. Now let's try to add one more. Let's say that in our hypothetical language, if you do something with something, if you use something like as a tool, that it has to end in o. Okay, so let's say, for example, man pets dogu hando, and that means hando means with the hand. Altogether, you don't have to say with or the, you just say hando, and the ending o means with the hand, or by means of the hand, or using the hand. So, man pets dogu hando. Okay. Man sees woman ayo. Sorry, I made a mistake in my language. Man sees womanu ayo. So the man sees the woman with his eye. Man paints karu brusho. So the man paints the car with a brush. Man paints karu brusho. Okay, and you're thinking, oh, this is getting complicated. But once you sort of get the idea here, it slowly becomes second nature. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm also at the beginning of this journey. But it's important just to get the concept down. The whole point of this video is to try and help you understand the concept of what's going on, if you're having trouble. If you're not having trouble, then this video is probably not for you. But a lot of people, I think, do have trouble understanding this simply because it doesn't exist in English, or at least not in modern English. So far we've had nominative case for the subject, accusative case for the direct object, and we'll call this case the one, man pets dogu hando, o case. We'll call that the instrumental case, which coincidentally is what it's called in Russian. Man paints pictureu brusho. The man paints a picture with a brush. Okay, and just you can sort of make these up. So what else? What other tool? Okay, man hits nailu hammero. The man hits the nail with a hammer. Man hits nailu hammero. It's an interesting game to play with yourself, because this is what happens in Russian. So far we've already learned the idea behind 3 cases. Nominative case for the subject, accusative case for the direct object, and the instrumental case to indicate the means by which something is being done. Okay, let's do one more. Let's have the case for giving something to someone. So, man, and we'll say that in this case, when you're giving something to someone, all the nouns end with E. So, man gives buku womany. Man gives buku womany. The man gives a book to the woman. So womany means to the woman. Woman gives buku mani. The woman gives a book to the man. A woman gives buku kiddy. The woman gives a book to a kid or to the kid. Okay. Man gives foodu doggy. The man gives food to the dog. So we're already doing pretty well here. The man gives foodu doggy. How about this? Man gives foodu doggy hando. Okay. 4 cases in this sentence. We have man, nominative case, gives foodu, accusative case, doggy, and this case, we'll call this the dative case, which just coincidentally is what it's called in Russian. Dative comes from Latin, which means the Latin word meaning to give, literally meaning to give. So we have man, nominative, man gives foodu, what did I say? Man gives foodu, that's accusative. So man, nominative, gives foodu, accusative, doggy, that's the dative, hando with his hand. That's the instrumental. So in our hypothetical made-up language that we just created today, we've already gone through 4 cases that incidentally and quite coincidentally happen to also exist in Russian. And the idea is you can play with this in your mind. Just look around your room like I'm doing now. Okay. I see buku. I see buku. Okay. I give buku mani. I give the book to the man. Let me see. I hit dogu buko. I hit the dog with the book. I wouldn't do that, of course. But I hit dogu buko. I hit the dog with the book. I give foodu doggy. I give food to the dog. I give foodu catty. I give foodu childy. So there's something about doing this in a made-up language using words that you know that I think makes it a bit easier to take on board what's going on. And we've already gone through 4 of the cases that exist in Russian. Now, this is very simplified. Again, the idea is not to give you a comprehensive overview of the case system in Russian, but to help you understand what's going on with cases. Let's see if we can do one more. Okay. How about the case of the of that indicates of? The book of the man, the man's book. In English, this is indicated by of or with an apostrophe s, typically. So let's say in this case, all words have to end with a. Okay. So we have book mana. Book mana. Book of the man. In other words, the man's book. Okay. I give. Let's not get too complicated yet. Let's see. So book mana. Telephone mana. Okay. Telephone womana. Telephone childa. So the child's telephone, the woman's telephone, the man's telephone. All right. What else? I see I see boku, so boku, mana. I see boku mana. I see the book of the man. See how we're combining cases now? Boku in the accusative case, mana in this new case, which we will call the genitive case in our hypothetical language. That's the of case. Okay. The belonging case, if you like. The apostrophe S case, if you want to compare it to English. So, book, if just a book, mana, book of the man, or I see boku, mana, I see the book of the man. Okay. How about, I give boku mana womany. I give the book of the man to the woman. I give the man's book to the woman. I give boku mana womany. Okay. I give boku mana womany hando. I give the man's book to the woman with my hand. Now again, this is a hypothetical language. It's not Russian. It's not meant to be comprehensive and explain the Russian case system. But now we've got 5 different cases that we've talked about in this short video. We have the nominative case, I give boku. Boku is accusative case. Mana is in the genitive case. Genitive means the possessive, like the possessive of something. Whose book? The man's book. To whom does the book belong? To the man. Okay, so I give boku mana womany. Womany is in the dative case. To whom are you giving it? To the woman. Hando. And with what are you giving it? With the hand. I give boku mana womany hando. I'm giving the man's book to the woman with my hand. So, in this short video, we've already covered 5 cases in our 5 grammatical cases in our hypothetical language, which completely coincidentally are very similar to 5 of the 6 grammatical cases in Russian. I hope this has been helpful. I give boku mana womany hando. Okay. I give fudu, let me see. I give fudu daga. I give fudu daga kati. I give the dog's food to the cat. I give fudu kata doggy. I give the cat's food to the dog. I give fudu kata doggy spoono. I give the cat's food to the dog with a spoon. It seems silly, I know, kind of ridiculous, but I did this when I first started learning cases. I found it was kind of an interesting little trick that just helped me get it clear in my mind what's going on. I hope this hypothetical language that I made up today helps you understand what cases are and how they work, especially if you've been struggling with the concept. I know a lot of people do. And I hope the grammatical terminology wasn't too off-putting. If you have any questions about that, please ask them in the comments, and if I can help, I will. And if I don't know, then I'll try to find out myself, because if you can ask a question about cases that I don't know, that means I need to learn it too. Anyway, I hope you have a good day, and see you soon.